Hey, I've got the chance to meet Paige Rose today officially. I've been following her for a long time, but now I get to have a chat with you. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. So you've been doing this music thing for a bit. I've been following you.
Yeah.
You're doing great things. It feels like something's going on with your career path. Like as of late, like the last 6 months, all of a sudden it's like, holy crap, good things are happening.
It does feel like we're getting a little momentum, which is super cool.
It's so much fun to watch. Now, tell me how long this moment feels. How long did it take to get to this moment? Everybody's like, oh, overnight success. But how long have you been doing the country music thing?
I always like to say, and they call Nashville a 10-year town for a reason, but I
Yeah.
always like to say it's a 10-year overnight success. So
Yep.
I've been officially in Nashville. It'll be 7 years in September. But I've been doing the country music thing for, it feels like my whole life, you know. I didn't really start writing music officially until college.
Okay.
But
And where did you go to college?
I was going to Boston.
Okay.
So made my way to Nashville, knew I wanted to write country music, and just kind of ran.
And when did you make that decision to do the Nashville thing?
I actually visited Nashville, and I met Alan Shamblin, who wrote The House That Built Me.
Okay,
And if
yep.
you haven't heard his story, it's incredible. You should check it out. But he single-handedly changed the trajectory of my life.
Really?
I thought that I would be a performance girl. Like I was like, oh, I write stuff kind of, but it wasn't really something I thought I would ever do professionally.
Okay.
And heard his story and immediately was like, that's what I want to do with my life. And so I've set out to do that mission, to write for myself and others.
That's unbelievable, because so much of what I find myself most impressed with is how people can sit there regularly, sitting down, talking through ideas, and then start to write music. I've sat in on a couple of writes just to see the process. It's insane.
It's cool.
It's so cool.
It's cool.
And all of a sudden you're sitting there and like 2.5, 3 hours later, there's a song,
Yeah.
or at least like 70% of a
start,
song,
yeah.
like something you can tangibly feel is real to continue with. And it's so exhausting to even just watch everybody else do all the work. I mean, you must be like to put it all out there writing music. It's hard work, but it's got to be so rewarding. So when you go into a write, do you have to prep the room that we're writing a song that's for me or somebody else? That's to me has been confusing for me to figure out.
Yeah.
Who gets the damn song when it's over if you don't specifically say in the beginning, hey,
Right.
we're writing a song for me?
Right. Honestly, it kind of depends. It's something I've been a lot more intentional with in the last year, but I have a lot of writer friends that are also artists, and that kind of double dip and do the dual thing. So
That's where it gets tricky.
It is. And a lot of times when we go into rooms like that, the goal is to just write the best song that we can. A lot of times it's something we all relate to.
Yeah.
And sometimes at the end of it, it's like, oh, okay, this is clearly meant for whoever. And it kind of shows itself in the end. But there's been songs that we've written. I put a song out called Triggers a couple years ago that we all thought would be for a different writer in that room. And for like 2 or 3 years thought she would take it. And
it just sat there and nobody was cutting it?
Kind of, and I got to the end and I was like, I think I want to do this and I think I want to put it out. And she was like, take it, go for it. So it really just varies on the room. Sometimes we walk in and it's like, yeah, I'm the artist today.
So how do you have, now that you're kind of moving forward in your career, do you have kind of like, okay, I need 5 songs that I'm going to cut written and ready to go in the next 90 days because I want to create a schedule of releases? Like how, business wise are you looking at part of the process? Because you're a creative.
Yeah.
And then there's this whole oh crap, I've got to really actually turn this into a career if I'm going to make money and keep being able to do this.
Right.
How tough is that, and how do you think through that?
So my producer likes to make fun of me because I don't know how to stop working.
Okay.
So we'll be in a release cycle and I will still be writing. I called him a few days ago and I was like, hey, I think I wrote the title track for the next record. And he's like, can you chill?
Because we're not done with the last
Because we're not, you haven't even put out the full last record. And but that's the thing, when you're creative, you never stop creating. That's the whole point. Even in a release cycle, I feel like when you're a songwriter or something,
well, and if you're in a mode, you're in a mindset, and you can, and you might as well take advantage of it, because you hear about writer's block and all this kind of stuff. And how real that is, or is it just, life is playing tricks on you?
Yeah.
So you're in this writer's block. Who knows? But I feel like if you've got a song and you write it.
Absolutely.
How often are you writing a week?
I write about 3 or 4 times a week.
And does that seem like it's like kind of, have you like worked that in to say, yeah, that's about right for me?
Yeah, I used to do doubles or triples when I first moved to town, and you just get burnt out by,
Why would you do that? Like I in my head, I'm like, it seems like so much to do. Is it just because you had opportunities to write with people and that was when they could?
Some of it's that when you first moved to town, you're just taught run, do, meet as many people, do the thing as much as you can. And I think that that's great. I think you should be yes man for your first couple of years in town, especially. And then once you kind of get into your rhythm, you can start building your tribe. You kind of figure out who you write well with, what you typically want out of a room, what your role is in a room, because that can often change. And you can kind of start to make a more efficient calendar.
So you just mentioned kind of being like when you first get there, kind of say a lot of yesing and all that kind of thing. What are some of the things that now you don't say yes to that you used to say yes to all the time, and you're like, wow, I said yes to this a lot, and I'm not yesing that anymore.
Yeah, I think there are certain things you outgrow. And I don't think that it's a bad thing.
No.
I think it's just a growth point.
Yep.
And I say that to say this. I appreciate the hustle in anyone.
Yep.
So I'm getting better about saying no to certain things.
Is the thing that's the easiest thing to start saying no to now is you can't write with everybody.
Right.
And as you start to have music that comes out that starts to show success, then you start to be the writer that people want to write in the room with, and you can't write with everybody. You can't please. It's that whole you can't please everybody.
Right.
You've got your own schedule. You've got your tribe that you call it as far as writers, and it's like, how many more can I spread to without spreading yourself thin?
I try really hard to live in a balance of that, because I also remember being the new writer in town that wanted anything than to write with people that I thought were above my echelon. And I don't know if I'm above necessarily anybody, but I do try really hard to kind of meet in the middle with like someone who's either new to town, and it's like, let's get coffee first and let's chat and let's, see what you want to do and where you're at, and we can go from there.
And what is like on your to-do list right now? If somebody grabbed your phone and put it up against your face and looked at your to-do list, what's actually like the first like 3, 4, 5 things on your to-do list? And I don't care if it's like, you've got to change the drapes in the living room. I hate those drapes. It's driving me crazy. What is somebody going to see on your to-do list?
Ooh, my to-do list. My first thing is I just had a record come out.
Okay.
So get all the content in order to push that.
People don't realize how hard that is.
Yeah.
And the time and the energy and like when you're putting anything of yourself out on social media, there's so much second guessing that goes into it too.
Yeah, especially being kind of a one-woman team. You are where the buck stops. So it's like you have to be okay kind of doing all the things, which is awesome. And it's cool because I have a lot of creative control in that, but there is a little bit of a balancing act that you have to do.
What's next on your list?
So next on my list would be I'm kind of getting more back into the 3 or 4 days a week, since I was working so heavily on the record. It took about a month where I was either not writing or doing like one a week.
Yep.
So I'm kind of getting back into the groove of doing that. So scheduling out the next few months and getting ready for that. And then number 3 would be to take a nap.
So what
Sleep
is
10 hours.
What is your sleep schedule when you've got it? I mean, can you shut it off?
Sometimes. That's an honest answer. Some nights are easier than others.
Okay. And what is your like routine? Are you a binge TV watcher on Netflix to try to just have your brain shut off from the music and the songs, and you're just like watching like something on TV to
Sometimes I definitely have my comfort shows. Like,
okay, what are those?
Friends, hands down, is always my
For
comfort
real?
show.
Like that's still a thing that's cycling through.
Still, I've probably watched the series 10 times through. That's not even an exaggeration. But at night, my friend got me a book early last year.
Okay.
And it's kind of gotten me back into reading, which is something I never thought I would say. So
I
read
would
at
never
night.
be able to get back into reading because I was never into reading.
I really wasn't either. And all of a sudden, here I am.
And I've got all these friends that have written books and all this, and I'm like, oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, totally. Oh yeah. Oh crap. Like I don't even really read my friends' books. Yeah, I'm gonna try. Okay, All right, here's my commitment right here, microphone recorded.
Yep.
I'm going to this year read all of the books that all of my friends have written this year.
There we go. You heard it here first.
I don't know that anybody's gonna. I don't know that that's a true statement, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try really hard.
And that's all you have to do.
Yes, it's all about trying. So, out of some of the songs that have not been released yet, that nobody even knows exists except you, your producer, maybe a couple of other close people that you let listen, what is that one song that's going to come out in the next 6 to 12 months? Do you know what it is that you're like, this song is like real deal? And you don't have to sing it, you don't have to tell me the title, but do you have that one song that you're like, I'm fired up?
Yeah, I think so.
And when do you think that's going to come out?
Probably early next year.
Okay. Are you saving it for a reason?
So I have been working on a concept album.
Okay.
We just put out part 1. So part 2 is what's going to be coming next.
How many parts are there to this concept?
You know, it's my life. There could be so many. But this is a true, follows a storyline concept record.
Very cool. Does that make it easier or more stressful?
It
Was this a great idea that you're like, oh crap, now I'm into this, I got to go?
I didn't go into the record being like, oh, I'm going to write a concept record.
Okay.
I thought I would write my record that came out now. It's called If We Met Now. And I was like, this will be a reintroductory letter for my music, because by the time I had put my last record out, I felt like I had grown a lot and my sound was changing and I wanted something new and fresh and different. And so that's kind of what I thought this would be. And while we were writing If We Met Now, I wrote a secondary title track called I Wish We Never Met. And I was like, hear me out. What if we did a 18-song album? And what if it had a visual component for all of it? And so all of the music videos tell a story, and I think it's going to be a really...
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
That's awesome. So if somebody was going to make the decision to come and see you play, all right, or not come and see you play, what are you going to say to them to tip them over to say, you're going to get this from a show that I'm doing, and this is why you should come and experience it? What are they going to walk away with from coming to see you play?
You're going to laugh. You're going to cry. You're going to feel like a bad bee. I don't know if I can curse.
A bad boy.
A bad...
No? I guess there's different bees, I suppose.
And I just hope you feel like you can relate to my life the same way you would relate to your own. That's really what I hope you get out of a show.
So your show, there's engagement, there's connectivity with your audience.
Yeah, you know, I'm not writing a record that is a fabricated emotion. It's all my life, and it's all, like I said, they're like diary entries. So I hope that you walk away feeling like we've bonded. That's awesome.
Well, if you're looking for another friend that happens to be in the music business and you want to bond over her music, Paige Rose is the answer. So check her out. We're super excited to have her here at Interstate Music, and we look forward to the rest of this year, but that one song, early 2025. Mark your calendars.